Hey toy collectors, welcome to another super exciting outrageous toy review. Today we're taking a look at DC Multiverse Batman by McFarlane Toys. This figure seems to be styled after the second version of the Batman animated series known as the new Batman and Robin Adventures. The artwork on the back of the box is from the first portion of the Batman animated series, and down below there's cross-sell artwork from comics and other media of other characters being released in this line, including Nightwing, Harley Quinn, and Superman. Here I've got Batman out of the package. So this line by McFarlane is definitely aimed at collectors. It seems a lot like the toys we get from DC Collectibles, especially reminiscent of those red and black boxed Batman animated series figures. I've got some nitpicks. Included with the figure is this Batman the Animated Series trading card. On the back there's a little bit of info here, and it definitely references the animated series in 1992. As I had mentioned sort of in the opening, this face does not really look like the animated series Batman. It looks much more like the later Batman, like Justice League or the New Adventures of Batman and Robin. It's just got a little bit of a redesign to it. There's no blue to the to his outfit really, other than the inside of his cape. I just don't think it matches quite right. And for a collector line, I think that's the kind of details you need to pay attention to. Batman comes with a figure stand, a set of accessory holding hands, his grappling hook launcher, and a batarang. I wish one of these accessory holding hands was sculpted to hold the grappling hook launcher properly. In the show, he kind of looped his fingers around and held it like this. And this hand looks more like a gun or trigger figure hand, so that doesn't quite match up. The other thing I'll mention that's sort of a complaint is that he can't really stand without this figure stand. That's definitely a drawback to the Timverse designs. All those characters are kind of top-heavy, and it was definitely a problem with those DC collectible figures. I would have rather them slimmed his torso down a little bit and chunked up his legs just a hair so he can stand. Batman has articulation at the head. It's a really odd rotation. It's based on the sort of the hunched overness of his neck. That's the only way that that's going to rotate unless they put the point down lower. But it's a little goofy. You know, there's hardly any point to it other than really minor tweaks, or it looks ridiculous. He's got his shoulders covered by his cape, which is generally pretty accurate to the show. Oftentimes that would happen. I do like that they painted the cape blue on the inside, black on the outside. It is a nice little bit of detail. But that definitely does affect his articulation in the shoulders. His arms can move up. They can move out to the side. He has a butterfly joint inside here before that. So it gives him really nice range of motion out to the side. It's just totally hindered going up. There's a swivel at the bicep. There's a ratchet joint at his elbows. His gauntlets have the little fins on them. They tend to be, they're kind of on the side of his arms to me, whereas I usually think of them more on the back side of his arms. That seems like a minor gripe, and maybe if I check the animation, that's kind of accurate to the models. I'm not totally sure there. And then he's got swivels and hinges in his wrists. And then, of course, these two fist hands that he comes with can be swapped out for the accessory holding hands. Batman has a really nice bat symbol on his chest, but I do have a slight little hiccup in the paint there. Below the pecs, there is a swivel in his midsection there. It's a little bit of a rocker kind of thing. There's another joint very similar to that below his abs at the waist. Neither one of them has an amazing amount of movement, but together they do give you a little bit of posability there. His hips have a pretty nice range of motion out to the side, forward and backwards. His little rubber trunks can interfere slightly, but not too much. He's got double jointed knees below that, which gives you a really nice range of motion, but they do look a little bit weird once you bend them. It kind of breaks up the sculpt just a little bit. Down below that, he has another similar joint for tilting his ankles as well as rotating, and then he's got one more articulation point in the feet. I feel like his legs are maybe over-articulated for a figure that is going to have trouble standing anyway. Having the toes move and stuff is not really that necessary. The box does boast 22 moving parts because they're trying to push the collectability or collector item style of this figure. And it is a pretty nice figure for collectors, but I just feel like it's slightly a mixed bag. I'm not exactly sure what I would do, but I just feel like some of the choices were a little bit odd. So far, the Multiverse line seems to be focusing predominantly on the different forms of DC Comics media, movies, and cartoons. I would love to see a bunch of the crazy Elseworld figures and really see where this line goes. Thanks for watching this Action Figure Adventures video. Do Baby Skeletor a favor, hit that like and subscribe button.